The Gina and Maddie podcast.
Gosh, Australia has fallen in love with Chris Stapleton, and he's performed last night and tonight in Sydney.
Kudos to Bank Arena. I was there. I was 10 rows from the front. It was amazing. It was a musician's show. So I was saying as we were leaving, a lot of those people who would go and see, say, Taylor Swift or, other artists, you're hearing a lot of tracks, but with this, it was just the band. Who you could see was what you were hearing. They'd stop in between songs, and he didn't care how long it took him to tune, if he wasn't quite in tune. It wasn't a bang, bang, bang show, but it
wasn't like a super polished performance.
No,
it was him up there jamming for the audience.
Oh, my God. The musicianship and the songs and the audience was packed. Interesting. Probably mostly 20-somethings, I'd say. There were some people my age there and older, but it was a real younger demographic than you might think. They knew every word of every song. He could just stop singing and, 10, 12,000 people, 50, I don't know how many thousand people were there, would just sing for him. It was musically breathtaking. My husband came, who's a guitarist as well, and he brought a friend who's also a guitarist and a singer, and they both were just like, just they were, and I took my best friend, so Natalie, which was fun for me, and we have been besties since we were 10, so we're coming up to 20 years of friendship.
Well, I'll let that slide. I'm going to let that slide.
He didn't even laugh when I said that. So Nat and I, our biggest...
That's what 25 years of marriage will do, Gina. He's like, I've heard it all before, Dal.
So Nat and I, our biggest thing is, what are we wearing? So she sent me about 3 photos of herself, one in like a short dress.
I'm surprised you didn't set up a Pinterest mood board for what you were going to, all different kind of outfits you could wear to Chris Stapleton.
Because everyone's kind of dressed real country. So Nat's going, what'll I wear? And she sent me photos. And on my floor, you can't even see the carpet in my bedroom. But Nat was going to wear a short dress, and she changed her mind to jeans at the last minute. And she goes, and I've got fresh spray tan under these jeans. And I said, well, it's going to be good if we all have to take our pants off. We'll be laughing then. She's proud.
Your legs are ready for the strip song.
I embarrass myself everywhere I go. I can't help it, Matt. I just embarrass myself. Rod brought a guy over. Look who I found who wants to say hello to you. I've gone, hello. Rod goes, you've got no idea who that was. Rod said, I could see the disappointment in his face when he walked off because it was very clear. I mentored this guy for about 5 years. Really nice young man, singer. Didn't look. He had brown hair now. He had blonde hair, and he put on a little bit of weight since the swim last. But so have I. But I didn't reckon. I had to get him back. I had to text him and go, please come back and let me give you a big hug. Then I ran into one of the heads of Sony from when I had a record deal. I was with EMI, but we were quite good friends. And he goes, Gina, he gives me a big hug. And he said, he's 78 or something, and giving me a hug. Oh, God, it's so good to see you. So good to see you. And I'm like, oh, my God, I can't believe I've seen you after all these years. And so I said to him.
Were you full of it? Were you absolutely full of it?
No. But
you didn't know who you were talking to?
No, I knew him.
Oh, you did?
No,
okay.
I knew him. I said, hello, Gil. I knew him straight up because he was a very big part of my career, and I loved him back in the day, but I haven't seen him for years. Anyway, I said to him, look, I'm going to say goodbye now because I might not see you later. He went, do you know something I don't know?
No, I don't. No one's ill. No one's ill.
I'm just
going to get busy and we might leave.
So I laughed for the first half of the show at me being an idiot with a very big, important person in my life. But seeing live music, I forget sometimes how important it is to go and see live music. It just fills your heart with joy. Made me super excited about our gig this weekend, which there will not be 10 to 12,000 people at, but it made me go, it's such a privilege to be able to, make music and be a part of that on the stage, but to go and watch it fills your heart. I can see why so many people go to concerts so regularly. I loved it. And if you're going tonight, if you're listening, you're going to see him tonight, you're going to have the best time ever.
And if you would like to be mentored and then forgotten by Gina Jeffries, you can hit her up at Gina Jeffries Academy of Music on Instagram.
Gina and Maddie.
It's our favourite time of the fortnight when we get Jen from Connected Parenting AU. She's also the author of Little People, Big Feelings. Good morning, Jen.
Good morning, guys.
Good morning, Jen.
Just quickly, I need to thank you. Last time we spoke, I was saying we're having some issues with my youngest Stevie at school drop-off. I used your technique of bribery. Well, my wife did because I'm here doing the radio. I got the easy job. She did a week of bribery with these little like Ushi dolls, and she got an Ushi doll every time she came home and did the drop-off fine. And now she said, I don't need the dolls anymore, Mama. I'm good to go. Thank you very much. And now she doesn't even let Bella go into the school gate with her. She likes to walk in by herself now. So Gina nailed it.
How good is that? How good is that? And to clarify for people, you know, although we know that bribes won't change behaviour long term, sometimes just giving kids a little incentive or reward for going well at something that's new or challenging can make a difference. I love that that's worked.
Yeah, we were, and again, clarifying for people who didn't hear it, we were at wit's end. Like Stevie was running out of the schoolyard. It was clinging. There was screaming. It was. We were looking for something to just to get us over the line, and it worked. But that's not what we're talking about today. G, what do you want to talk to Jen about?
Jen, we wanted to ask you about sibling rivalry, which I had quite a bit of that myself growing up. And how do you deal with? Well, Maddie's got 3. I imagine he's got a bit of don't make me pull the car over when they go on a road trip. Don't make me come back there. What do you do? How do you deal with it?
Look, the first thing that we want to do with sibling rivalry is know that it is not only completely normal for kids to fight, but it is more common than you realise. It is the most common between children when they're between the ages of 3 and 8. That's when the most fighting will be happening in your home. And in that time, kids will fight up to 8 times an hour. So often parents are feeling like, my kids are fighting literally every 7 minutes. And yes, you are correct. It is every 7 minutes. So I think the first thing we want to do is normalise it. And then the second thing we want to know is that actually sibling conflict is a really great way for kids to learn about their conflict skills, their negotiation skills, their social skills, and their emotional regulation skills. Siblings are incredibly frustrating. They know which buttons to push to get to us. And so there is a whole reason and there is the developmental benefit. But as parents, I think the goal is how do we help kids to, you know, manage their fights without drawing us into the middle and without it becoming aggressive or, you know, breaking each other's things or, you know, we don't want it to go too far. So I think that's the key.
Well, it's my one with it is we like, you know, every 7 minutes sounds about right. It's for Bella and I, we say, when do we get involved? It's like, this is the toughest one for us because we sit back and we're like, let's just see how long it goes to see if they can work it out. And it usually doesn't. It usually does involve one of us having to go in there and break it up. But it usually gets to the point where it's like, oh no, someone's picked up someone's Lego and they're about to smash it on the ground. Like that's when we get involved. But should we be getting involved before it gets to that point?
Do you know what? And I relate to this one, but you know, as a parent, you can be in another room and you could actually turn to your partner and go, someone's going to hit someone in 5, 4, 3. You can literally predict it coming. So look, yes and no, like honestly. So the biggest thing we can do to boost kids' skills to work things out independently is actually not rushing in as often, but coaching or commentating where possible from the side. And it's a bit what I talk about, this narration, like you're calling a horse race. I see 2 kids and 1 toy. I wonder how you guys are going to work this out. Everybody wants the one piece of Lego Duplo. It looks like it's in Charlie's hand right now and he's not ready to share. What can you play with while you wait? I know it's hard to wait. So we're sort of narrating that kind of sibling challenges as we go. And what happens when we do that, because I'm not saying, okay, I will sort it out, I will set a timer, I will separate you guys, I'm actually putting it back on the kids. They are having to come up with those solutions and we're empowering them to do that. Now, I'm not saying that's going to mean peace and harmony in your house. I'm a mum of 4 boys, so I'm speaking the real truth here. When I love parents coming up with 4 baseline rules, whenever these things happen, we are intervening. So when kids are hitting, hurting, damaging property, so that's when the holding up the Lego thing and, breaking someone's Lego or whatever it is that's happening, whenever kids are about to break a core rule, and I love no name calling, no hitting or hurting, no damage to our property or our world, that's kind of a really good baseline. if one of those things is about to happen, I am in there as neutral as possible, acknowledging it always takes two to tango. I'm not just going after the one protagonist as much as I might want to. And I'm trying to say, whoa, I can see you guys are not okay and I'm here. And all we're doing when we kind of break those really intense moments up is containing everybody and keeping everybody safe, stopping everyone from smashing each other's toys or hurting each other until we're calm again. And then it's only later that we might coach our kids. Like, I get that your sister's annoying, but, you know, breaking her toy did not go well for us all, did it? So what could we do next time that she's really getting under your skin? And we're trying to slowly build those skills to basically pause between stimulus and response. There's a pause. Now, we struggle as adults to find that pause always, but we're trying to help our kids to find that pause.
It's interesting listening to the Jen, because I only have one child. I wanted to have more, but we only had one. And you talking about the kids. It's how good this is. And Maddie, when your kids fight and you come in here and you're super stressed, it is great for them because they are learning those skills of how to negotiate, how to share, how to take turns. Whereas my son, who grew up in the house, he has a much older brother and sister, but they didn't grow up with him. And I used to worry about it a little bit as having an only child. I was really conscious not to, you know, for me to walk away and anyone to roll their eyes and go, oh, clearly he's an only child. But he didn't ever get to experience that, what Matt's kids and your kids, Jen, are experiencing of fighting and learning how to fight, learning how to get over it, learning how to forgive, learning how to share. You know, Jackie and whatever he wanted to watch on TV, he got to watch because he didn't have anyone fighting with him. And I did worry about that as a mum of a one kid. Is there any advice for those parents who've got one kid like me? How are they going to learn those skills?
Definitely. I think the first thing is to know that every family makeup will have things that are positive and things that maybe are not there. So for me, no one, you know, there's no female influence in my house. So my kids are not being exposed to the wishes and wants or the, you know, there's no Frozen, there's nothing. So I have to sort of think, okay, well, they don't get that, but they do get. So an only child doesn't get that sibling conflict, but they do get more focus of their parents, and there's a whole lot of other benefits. In terms of how do we sort of foster that, it's really having neighbours, community, cousins, making sure that your child gets immersed in some multi-age play dates every now and then, and having sort of regular, you know, once a week, having a weeknight dinner with maybe the neighbours where your kid has those like sibling type relationships, which are just as fantastic for building those social skills.
Jen, always a pleasure chatting to you, mate. Connected Parenting AU is the Instagram. The podcast is Beyond the Chaos, and the book is Little People, Big Feelings. Jen Muir, always a pleasure. We'll chat to you in a couple of weeks, mate.
Thanks so much, guys.
Gina and Maddie.
Producer CJ sent this through to me, and then I saw it just all through my feeds on TikTok and on Instagram. Millie Bobby Brown. Now, you might know the name, you might not. She played 11 in Stranger Things, British actress. She took to Instagram yesterday, and she's had enough of journalists and, well, just people commenting on her appearance. And she released a statement on Instagram, which I thought was really powerful. And I thought, you know what, rather than us talk too much about it, I think it's really important to play and for all of us to have a little bit of a listen to. So this is Millie Bobby Brown on her Instagram yesterday.
Hi everyone, it's Millie. I want to take a moment to address something that I think is bigger than just me. Something that affects every young woman who grows up under public scrutiny. I think this is very necessary to talk about. I started in the industry when I was 10 years old. I grew up in front of the world, and for some reason, people can't seem to grow up with me. Instead, they act like I'm supposed to stay frozen in time, like I should still look the way I did on Stranger Things Season 1. And because I don't, I'm now a target. I want to talk about some of the articles that have recently released while I'm on my press tour, and some of the writers who are so desperate to tear young women down.
Now, that's the beginning of it. And when I was listening to us, that's really powerful. But then she doesn't hold back either. She names names, and I love every minute of it.
One article reads, "Why are Gen Zers like Millie Bobby Brown aging so badly?" Written by Lydia Hawken. "What has Millie Bobby Brown done to her face?" Written by John Eli. Millie Bobby Brown mistaken for someone's mum as she guides younger sister Ava through LA. Written by Cassie Carpenter. Another article reads, Little Britain's Matt Lucas takes savage swipe at Millie Bobby Brown's new mummy makeover look. written by Bethann Edwards. Amplifying an insult rather than questioning why a grown man is mocking a young woman's appearance. This isn't journalism. This is bullying. The fact that adult writers are spending their time dissecting my face, my body, my choices is disturbing, and the fact that some of these articles are written by women makes it even worse. We always talk about supporting and uplifting young women, but when it comes down to it, it seems a lot easier to just tear them down for clicks. Disillusioned people can't handle seeing a girl become a woman on her terms, not their own. I refuse to apologize for growing up. I refuse to make myself smaller to fit the unrealistic expectations of people who can't handle seeing a girl become a woman. I will not be shamed for how I look, how I dress, or how I present myself. We have become a society where it's so much easier to criticize than it is to pay a compliment. Why is it the knee-jerk reaction to say something horrible rather than just say something nice? If you have a problem with that, I have to wonder, what is it that actually makes you so uncomfortable? Let's do better. Not just for me, but for every young girl who deserves to grow up without the fear of being torn apart for simply existing. Thank you.
Wow, that is powerful, Matt. Jeez. And it is hard, this generation growing up on social media where people think it's okay to comment about how you look and daily. You're reading that stuff in your house. It's awful. And she's stunning. Just
listening to that, and it's just like, you know what? We've all got to do a little bit better. And I listen to that and go, being someone who has a stick in front of their face and it's a live microphone for 3.5 hours a day, you know, we've just got to be better, I think. And that's a lesson for everyone. And like she said, it's not just men either. It's, you know, female writers doing stuff for clicks. At what cost do you want that click, I think is the question you need to ask yourself.
The Gina and Maddie Podcast.
For more great comedy shows like this, head to novapodcast.com.au.